Hi. When I was a kid in the 80s, so 3 years ago, there was one thing I craved over anything else. And that was a Super Soaker. Now, if I remember correctly, they came in 3 variations. The Super Soaker 100, the Super Soaker 200, and the Super Soaker 300. Now, my best friend and neighbor growing up, now my best man, he had a Super Soaker 100, and oh my god, I envied him. He was the king of the street in anything water related. And then a friend of mine at school got a Super Soaker 200, which basically made him a demigod at that point. And then there was the Super Soaker 300. That's the one with the backpack tanks and everything. Now, we'd never seen one. We just heard some rumors about a legend, epic, the Mjolnir of the school realm or whatever. Of course, I couldn't afford any of them. I had the $1 squirty ones. But I'm an adult now, with adult money. So I could buy them. All of them. But then again, as many of the things in the 80s, they did not age well. The mullet, the guitar, and the Super Soaker. The one most likely to get wet was the one using it. Leaky gaskets, cracking plastics, you name it. But that got me thinking, why not build one? A better one? Because I do got a fire extinguisher. And an AC pressure container thingamabob. Yeah. This looks like a Super Soaker, right? As a kit. Hey!
What?
Slow down with the build music, won't ya?
Okay. Why?
I weren't done.
Seriously? You're gonna ramble on even more?
Ever occurred to you that the people might like to hear me ramble on for hours at end?
Sure.
I'm a podcast host, you know. I like talking.
1/3 of one.
Yeah.
At best.
So, what I've done is, I've cheated a bit. I've already been at the 3D printer and printed one of these. Because this is a valve with pistol grip, yeah. And this could either pressure air into the air container, or it can be pressurized with the water, so you just press this and it will squirt the water. But I mean, this isn't a Super Soaker, is it? Still need to find a different name because I can't really call it a Super Soaker. Duke Drencham. That's also been used though. Yeah. But the thing is, I want this one to fit inside here. And then of course, once I know that this fit, I can design a water gun around here. Can I call it a water gun on YouTube? They are really gun sensitive. Water pistol. Water a squirter. yeah, that's not gonna get you flagged. So yeah, that's the plan. Now I need to design a squirter. And then I have to find out the right size, and you need to be able to aim. And of course my printer won't print that in one go, so I need to build it in modules. But I have a plan for this. And of course the question is, I always wanted the Super Soaker 200 because Christian had one, and it has two bottles on top. But these are not equally sized, and I could put them up here, and it would be cumbersome. And the problem is that if you fill this with water, you need the not the nozzle, but the pickup point need to be somewhere here. And if you tilt it backwards, and it is here, then it will not get the water, and vice versa. Now on the original Super Soaker they actually have a floppy tube inside that can actually move, but of course when we think about the Super Soaker 300, the legend, yeah, it's easier to have the backpack option, because if I mount it this way, it doesn't really matter how much you turn it, it will still find the water. So then I have this one. So I pressurize this with air, and then just an air hose up here on the top. Then you have water. So once you release the valve, the air will actually pressurize the water and push it down. It's a no-brainer, really. So we're going for the backpack edition. Yeah. You can cue the music now. Thank you. There it is. The squirty part is done. Now I just need to address the tanks. But that requires a bit of welding. Yeah.
It was at this exact moment he just realized he's a 43-year-old male, not being in an active water fight since the 90s, who is into plants now. Insert Latin name here after consulting Glenn.
Ah. Now that was a bit Limp Biskit, wasn't it? Yeah. But I'm still pleased. It worked as intended. Well, somewhat. There was no leaks here, and it held pressure 4 bars beautifully. And of course, keeping the pressure in this one and the water in this one, even though you're emptying out this water, the added volume doesn't really affect the pressure. So it keeps squirting at the same rate throughout the entire water reservoir. But the issue is in here, or to be precise, this one, the nozzle. The hole is too big. So of course, to increase the range, there's 2 ways going about it. We can increase the pressure, but this is just rated to 8 bars. So I can double the pressure, but that won't give you double the range. And of course, adding the pressure means that with this large opening, it will just empty the water bottle faster, which is really not fun. So the other solution is a smaller hole. Now, they don't make nozzles like this all willy-nilly, so we have to make that ourselves. So the plan is to just fill this with silver solder and then drill out a smaller hole. Yeah, see if that can't help the range a bit. There we are. Let's go try it. Alright, the moment of truth. Did this improve the range? Jesus. I would say so. This is much better. This is way better. Alright, the coupling up here do leak a bit, but this one seems to be tight now, which is good. But yeah, I will get an even better nozzle for the 2.0.